right now on 5 on your side at 10.
A lifeline for those with student debt. The president forgives thousands of dollars in student loans. Who's eligible and how do you apply?
Heating up for the weekend, plus the days you'll most likely need your umbrella.
But first, killed in broad daylight.
You never believe that this could happen to your family, and then it does.
His accused killer was captured in a chilling surveillance photo. Tonight, his family's plea to catch the gunman. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Ann Allred. Tonight, the family of a St. Louis City homicide victim is demanding justice as the suspect remains on the loose. Our Pepper Baker joins us with how they're handling this tremendous loss.
And Mike, on August 15th, 31-year-old Michael Wyatt was shot and killed in broad daylight in South St. Louis City. Now, while police are still looking for the man responsible, Wyatt's family waits and reflects on his life taken too soon. Miranda Wyatt and her twin sister Amanda took a picture of their brother, wishing his life lasted longer.
One moment, we're calm and collected, and the next moment it's a burst of tears thinking about what he went through.
On August 15th, their mother, Chris Ringwald, got the news no mother should ever have to hear. Her 31-year-old son, Michael Wyatt, was shot and killed in South St. Louis City at 4:30 in the afternoon.
My mom called, and I got the news that my brother was shot. And I fell to my knees, and I couldn't even see straight. My eyes just filled in with tears.
Police released this photo of a man they believe is connected to the shooting. St. Louis emergency crews rushed Wyatt to the hospital, but by the time his family got there, it was too late.
We were not able to say goodbye to him. That was it.
A week later, family and friends paid their respects at Wyatt's funeral on Tuesday.
It's very heartbreaking, and to see my grandkids yesterday saying goodbye to their dad was very hard. They're taking it pretty hard. They love their daddy.
He liked to be goofy and make jokes, and he loved just being around people.
Wyatt, his sister's mom, and his kids live in House Springs, Missouri. They say they don't visit the city often and weren't sure why Wyatt was there.
It's scary. It's really scary that in broad daylight this happened.
And many questions remain as police continue to search for the person responsible.
Waiting patiently to find justice and hope justice will be served to the person that caused our family so much grief and loss.
I hope he doesn't do it to somebody else's family.
Wyatt was a former restaurant cook. His sister said cooking and drawing were his passions. He leaves behind 2 kids, a 7-year-old daughter and a 6-year-old son. Police haven't said what led up to the shooting, and if you recognize the man in this surveillance video, you're urged to call Crime Stoppers at 866-371-TIPS. You can remain anonymous.
New tonight, an execution date is now set for the man convicted of killing a Kirkwood police sergeant in 2005. According to court documents obtained by 5 on Your Side, Kevin Johnson will be put to death on November 29th. This comes after years of appeals. Johnson was convicted in 2007 for the shooting of Sergeant Bill McEntee. His first trial, in which he admitted to killing McEntee, ended in a hung jury.
Tonight, an officer who hit and killed a sergeant during a police chase is charged with involuntary manslaughter. The crash happened back in December 2020. Investigators say former Bellefontaine Neighbors officer Brian Rayford was chasing a car at speeds up to 85 miles per hour without his emergency lights. Moline Acres Police Sergeant Herschel Turner was conducting a traffic stop when he was hit by Rayford's cruiser. In a 5 on Your Side exclusive, Rayford's attorney calls it a tragic accident and says Rayford did not violate the department's pursuit policy.
Our position has been he was not in a pursuit. I mean, obviously, he's devastated. I mean, another police officer was killed. He feels terrible for that officer's family, what they're going through.
If convicted, Rayford could face 3 to 10 years in prison and a $10,000 fine. Tonight, St. Louis Comptroller Darlene Green is out with a new plan she hopes will raise the pay for city police officers.
She also wants to attract more officers in an effort to curb crime. New tonight, our Robert Townsend is digging into the details.
Perhaps is one of the most urgent needs we have today in St. Louis is to address the crime problem.
In just a matter of minutes, longtime St. Louis Comptroller Darlene Green announced her public safety initiative during today's Board of Estimate and Apportionment meeting.
I want to introduce an outline of a conceptual plan that will offer some meaningful steps.
Her plan includes putting more money in the pockets of city police officers. It calls for wages competitive with other police departments around the region. Currently, a St. Louis police officer with 1 year experience makes more than $49,000 a year.
Yes, our police need to have the best pay that is available that we can afford to give them to keep our officers here.
The comptroller also wants to see new incentives for becoming a St. Louis police officer, such as tax breaks and down payment assistance on new homes. Green's public safety effort also includes a Cop on the Block initiative. The goal, make police officers more visible in every neighborhood in an effort to curb crime.
It's not a new concept, but it gives a signal that we've got an additional tool for addressing the crime problem.
I really would like to see it happen.
Downtown resident Janice Langford likes the idea of paying police more.
Just keeping the neighborhood safe, that's going to have to entitle a pay increase for these police officers. They're putting their life in danger.
David Wigger says Green's proposed Cop on the Block plan could really benefit neighbors.
When the police are walking the block, when they're present, crime is less.
Now, the comptroller tells me she developed the plan after talking to lots of police officers, Mayor Tashara Jones, and the city's public safety director. Her plan still has a long way to go before it's finally voted on by the city. Of course, we'll stay on top of it. Live downtown, Robert Townsend, 5 Your Side.
Tonight, President Biden is offering a lifeline to the millions of Americans drowning in student loan debt. His plan includes $20,000 in loan forgiveness for Pell Grant recipients and $10,000 in relief for federal student loans. This is only for people who make less than $125,000 a year. The pandemic-era pause on student loan payments is also being extended one last time through the end of December. Mixed reaction tonight over the president's plan. Many borrowers are excited to have their loans forgiven.
But some are concerned the costs will be passed on to every taxpayer. Our Brent Solomon caught up with a local economics professor to try and get some answers. Brent?
Mike, Dr. Max Gilman from UMSL says he understands both sides of the equation. Those who are breathing a sigh of relief and those who feel that already tough times will get tougher for everyone.
Take a look for yourself. This message coming from the White House Wednesday. Those making less than $125,000 a year can see $20,000 in Pell Grants dismissed and $10,000 in federal student loans wiped out. While praise for the president's plan pours in.
Being able to reinvest in the kinds of things that make it possible to make a job move, or to make a housing investment, or to invest in your own children's education.
There are concerns from those who won't qualify.
Well, they will feel that they are being unfairly treated. And here's the demand.
Dr. Max Gilman is an economics professor at UMSL. While he understands the praise for the plan, he also believes wiping out all of those student loans could deepen the nation's deficit.
So when you increase that deficit, the government has to raise taxes somehow. One way is income taxes. The other way is the inflation tax.
Does that mean the cost will be passed on to you?
The general taxpayer, who maybe they don't have any kids and they don't care about students, they're not going to like having higher inflation.
There's even mixed reaction coming in from lawmakers. Senator Josh Hawley saying the president is, quote, at it again, abusing his power to put working people on the hook for billions in college debt. It's unfair to millions who played by the rules. Representative Cori Bush countering, quote, education is a human right, but for too long our student debt crisis has put it out of reach for millions.
And the professor you just heard from warns against current and future students from borrowing more than they need to because they think their student loans could be forgiven in the future. There's no guarantee of that. Ann.
Thank you, Brent. Student loan borrowers almost crashed the federal government's website today. It took several minutes for pages to load, but you even need to do anything to make sure your loans are forgiven. Here's Casey Decker from our Verify team.
President Biden just announced a plan to wipe out a chunk of student debt for millions of Americans. Broadly speaking, people making under $125,000 a year can get $10,000 in student loans forgiven. But a big question that we've gotten from several Verified viewers: do I have to do anything to get my loans forgiven, or will this happen automatically? Well, the Department of Education says it'll be automatic for about 8 million people whose income data the agency already has on file. That's most likely to be the case if you're already on a repayment plan that's based on your income, since the department already has your info to make those calculations. For everyone else, there will be an online tool where you can input your financial information. Not sure if you fall in that 8 million, that same tool can help you figure it out. So when will it be available? All we know right now is the department says, quote, in the coming weeks, and definitely before the end of the year. But you can get notified when it goes live by signing up at ed.gov/subscriptions. In the meantime, all federal student loan payments remain on pause through the end of 2022. And that eventually loan servicers like Nelnet will update your balance to reflect the canceled debt. One more thing, this only applies to federal student loans, meaning if you have private loans, those aren't forgiven at all. With your Fast Fact, I'm Casey Decker.
What can we verify for you? Send an email, verify@ksdk.com.
A touching tribute tonight in O'Fallon, Missouri. The Fallen Heroes Memorial Wall was set up outside the St. Charles County Veterans Museum. The 28-foot American flag is made out of 7,000 dog tags of fallen service members who died in the War on Terror. 148 Missourians are part of the display. The traveling memorial is open 24 hours. It will remain at the Veterans Museum through Monday. A permanent memorial will be dedicated Saturday for Marine Lance Corporal Jared Schmitz and the 12 other U.S. service members killed in a suicide bombing at the Kabul airport. Friday marks the one-year anniversary of that deadly attack.
Parents facing a diaper dilemma. It's a must-have, costing them thousands.
Frankly, don't know how they do it sometimes.
The unlikely place helping parents make ends meet. High water rescues. The race to save dozens of seniors and hundreds of small children from floodwaters.
Spotty rain chances to end the week with temperatures and humidity on the rise. Those storm chances, I'll time them out.
Developing tonight, a jury has ruled Los Angeles County will have to pay the widow of Kobe Bryant $16 million in connection to the helicopter crash that killed her husband and young daughter. A jury also ruled the county must pay another $15 million to the families of the other 7 victims of the 2020 crash. The plaintiffs argued county first responders took pictures of their human remains as souvenirs and shared them with others.
Tonight, more than 5 million people in the southeast are under a flood watch, bracing for another night of dangerous flooding. More than 12 inches of rain fell in Mississippi. So far, there have been hundreds of rescues across the state. Dozens of elderly residents were rushed from a nursing home as floodwaters rushed in, and more than 100 children were rescued after they were trapped in their daycare by high water.
More families are struggling to pay for the cost of diapers. That cost is more than $1,000 a year per kid.
The National Diaper Bank says 1 in 3 Americans struggle paying for diapers, and our Michelle Lee found an unlikely place helping St. Louis parents make ends meet.
Well, something to keep in mind, $1,000 is 15% of the take-home income of a person earning minimum wage. So you can see how that quickly adds up when those needs compete with food, clothing, shelter, medicine, transportation, childcare, and so much more. But there is an effort to give people diapers for free, no strings attached.
I buy diapers either for my grandson when he visits.
Volunteers like Mary Sheppers know that diapers are expensive and some types hard to come by.
Oh yeah, a lot of the sizes are hard to find.
That's partly why she volunteers at the St. Louis area diaper bank, because she's seen the stress on the faces of caregivers.
Everything is coming at them at one time. I frankly don't know how they do it sometimes.
One of our partners who is a food pantry told us a story about a mom who came to pick up her monthly food distribution and told our partner that she wanted to get the diapers because her baby had not been changed in that morning and hadn't been changed since the night before.
Parents sometimes ask for diapers first over food, part of a national crisis, as caregivers struggle with inflation, supply shortages, and in states like Missouri and Illinois, still taxing diapers as other states have started to scale back. This diaper bank now on track to donate 1 million diapers this year, a dramatic increase.
The larger supply of diapers always go first because they're the most in demand and the most expensive.
The St. Louis County Public Library has been working with the Diaper Bank to give away diapers for free. It even added a 6th location to distribute this year, going from an emergency-only site to a way of life.
It means one less trip in a car or one less visit someplace if they're already at the library.
This means that parents who register could get diapers for free indefinitely. It's a sign of the times as libraries across the country have grown into community centers, offering books along with free meals and services.
I think that people come to the library for answers, and we look for those answers.
Yeah, it definitely is a health crisis.
But as long as donations come in, the diapers go out, and caregivers can feel a little relief for now.
You know, not even people who normally need help. I mean, I'm just like, I don't know how they do it. So I'm really happy I volunteered.
The St. Louis area diaper bank takes diapers and monetary donations, but it prefers money because it can buy diapers a lot cheaper than you can at the store. To learn more about where you can give help or receive help, you can text the word diapers to 314-425-5355 and we will send you a link to your phone. Back to you.
Meteorologist Jim Castillo is in for Scott tonight. A beautiful day, humidity in check, 80s.
Yes.
Great when you look back at where we've come from this summer.
Right.
Right, less than 1 month ago, we had the historic flooding here. And then we're talking about Dallas Sunday and Monday, and now Mississippi. Even Jackson today, Mississippi, had a flash flood emergency similar to what we had. So again, it's just about really a month later that they're still seeing some incredible rainfalls down there. So this is our time lapse, Forest Park. Look at this. You can see the clouds have popped up. No rain at all, but those cumulus clouds popped up until the instability went away, the sun set, and then it just cleared up nicely. So it's going to be a beautiful night tonight, very clear, maybe some river fog again. And you can see here at Edwardsville, it's 74 degrees, very quiet. It's a nice night there. And at the Arch, it's 75 degrees still, looking for lows around St. Louis at about 67. East-southeast wind at 6, humidity 66%. Dew point goes up a little bit at night and will feel a little stickier and then goes down a little bit tomorrow. Humidity is still in check tomorrow. But the high today, 87, 88 is the average, so we're starting to heat up. Tomorrow's high probably 91 in St. Louis because this area of high pressure that came right out of the Great Lakes and brought us that really comfortable air is sliding to the east. So we're going to see more of a southwest wind tomorrow out ahead of a front that does drop our direction. A little bit more on that coming up, but lows tonight very comfortable. Low 60s outside of St. Louis, 67 in the city. And the drought monitor here, can you believe our southwestern counties still have areas of drought? But it's even worse in Texas. But Dallas had way too much rain, way too fast. And here's Mississippi, again, a drought situation, but they've had over a foot of rain in this area here and flash flood watches for parts of Louisiana and also the Gulf Coast. So Mobile, Alabama included in on that, but things are calming down. They could still see a couple of more inches of rain there. So that system's just to the south of us. We're in between. We're mostly sunny tomorrow, but here comes that front, and then it's going to drop down to the north. So eventually clouds on the increase later tomorrow, still mostly sunny at about 91. And here's our future cast. You see that? Not everybody's going to see a shower or a storm, but it could pop up late in the day tomorrow night, and then it's out of here. So Friday looks dry too. Saturday looks dry. And then as we head into Sunday, rain is definitely on the increase. Chance of showers and storms gets a little bit more likely as we head into Sunday night and Monday. All right, so 10-day forecast, 91 tomorrow, 89 Friday, 89 Saturday, generally dry. Then Sunday, 92, that chance of a late day storm, and then upper 80s to around 90, and good chance of rain next week.
All right, Jim, thanks. Frank is here with sports.
Well, Mike, one Cardinal is hotter than the asphalt in Georgia. We have great golf news for our area, and it looks like there could be a St. Louis Cardinal headed to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. There is no one in our town who thought the Cardinals, riding the crest of a 7-game win streak, would lose a series in Chicago to the Cubs. Well, tomorrow, the Cardinals are throwing Dakota Hudson, who has struggled. This series could go either way. Miles Michaelis has been magnificent in his last 2 starts. He wasn't tonight. Nelson Velasquez doubles off the wall. Miles gave up 3 earned runs in 6 2/3 innings. It was 2-0 Cubs at this point. Top 3, and this is rotten. Watch closely where this pitch goes. Clearly outside. John Lipka called it a strike, and Nolan Arenado lost it. Then he was thrown out. The umpire blows a call and then throws out an all-star. Life ain't fair. Bad game, but this Corey Dickerson is insane. He had a double and 3 singles. He has 8 hits in his last 2 games. Before last night, he was hitting .232. Now he's hitting .268, but the Cardinals lose 7-1. Brewers trying to pick up some ground out in LA against the Dodgers. It's not going well. Joey Gallo doubles to make it 8-2. Los Angeles is pouring it on. They lead it 9-2 in the 5th, so the Cardinals will likely remain 5.5 games up on Milwaukee. Just 16 days till the start of the Ascension Charity Golf Classic at Norwood Hills Country Club. And today, some heavyweights say they're in. Patrick Harrington and Steve Stricker. That's 65 wins and 3 majors. And they're recruiting Fred Couples as hard as Mizzou recruited Luther Burden. Then 4 years from now, the BMW Championships will be coming to Belle Reve Country Club. Imagine the 70 best players in the world hitting golf balls on Ladue Road. The club knows about hosting championships. This will be their 9th.
To put on a championship of this level year and year, when we're able to be put on the stage and execute at a high level, and then see the community, the fans in St. Louis. I mean, we don't undervalue the impact to everyone that loves the sport and are big fans of Belle Reve.
Hall of Fame quarterback Len Dawson died today. He led the Kansas City Chiefs to a surprise win in Super Bowl IV and also won 2 championships in the old AFL. He went on to be a very popular sportscaster in Kansas City and did Chiefs radio broadcasts for 33 years. Len Dawson was 87. Finally tonight, a word about this man, Don Coryell. Today he moved to the final stage of getting into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. That means if a coach gets in this year, it will be him. A Hall of Fame voter tells me tonight Coryell has an 80% chance of making it. All I can say is he better get in. There has never, ever been a better offensive mind. Before there was the greatest show on turf, there were the Cardiac Cardinals with the Big Red, and later Air Coryell with the Chargers. Ask the architect of the greatest show on turf, Mike Martz, who he took things from. Coryell turned Jim Hart, who was on the bench, into an MVP. He made another quarterback, Dan Fouts, a Hall of Famer in San Diego. That's the good news. The bad news is the man is not around to enjoy it. He died 12 years ago. It will be bittersweet for the family if it happens. Can you imagine that he did all these amazing things as a coach with that creative mind, and yet he didn't live long enough to enjoy his enshrinement? What a shame. It's just flat out wrong. And a personal note, I sat in section 368 with my dad on my left and my brother Doug on my right for every game Don Coryell coached here. And it was one of the best things about my childhood. And that'll do it in sports.
Thank you, Frank.
Well, it's a 5 on your side Labor Day weekend tradition. The MDA Show of Strength Telethon is back this year, live from Grant's Farm on Sunday, September 4th from 8 until 10 p.m. in prime time. Today, Walgreens announced it will match donations made during the telethon up to $3,000. To learn more or for a link to donate online, visit kstk.com/donate, and we'll be right back.
The wait for the latest iPhone is almost over. Apple announced a big event for September 7th. Details are limited, but it's expected the new iPhone 14 lineup will be unveiled. Rumor has it the design ditches that notch for the front-facing camera at the top of the phone.
You can now buy a Peloton on Amazon. It's the first time you don't have to visit Peloton's website or physical store to buy the high-tech exercise equipment. The prices are the same. The stationary bike will cost you around $1,500.
After 2 years of COVID fears, Party City is gearing up for an epic Halloween. They're expecting more people to buy costumes and decorations this year. The company is hiring 20,000 temporary workers. and around 10% of them will be offered permanent jobs.
So I grew up next to a family, and when we would go to their house for Halloween, they always gave the worst. Do you remember circus peanuts?
Yes. Oh,
the big
yeah,
orange.
they're kind of like styrofoam, but
yeah,
they're,
but every year that's what they handed out for Halloween. Every year.
I mean, it's almost as bad as pretzels.
Pretzels. Yeah, that's not what kids want. There you have it. 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next.